invest that money. So now you're investing not only your initial capital, but you're investing your profits. Now, your profits are outgoing and working for you also.
Hello, everyone. We're Jacqueline and Melvin Landry, and we welcome you to our podcast, Get Diversified. Throughout these series, we'll cover all the topics and questions you have about investing in apartment buildings, storage facilities, and mobile home parks. Being knowledgeable in these areas will help you feel more comfortable about investing. Apartment investing equals building wealth. Building wealth equals financial freedom. Achieving financial freedom allows you to spend your time with building memories with your loved ones. Let's face it, time is the one element in life that is limited, and you don't want to waste it.
There he is.
Yeah. Get diversified, man.
Get diversified, baby. Get diversified. Folks, good afternoon and welcome to our show, Get Diversified. I'm Melvin Landry, and I'm here with a fantastic guest, a guy who I've known for years, and a guy who's just killing it in terms of execution from an operation standpoint, cash flow, and progressing in his profession. And you know what? He loves multifamily real estate. I repeat, he loves multifamily real estate. Johnny, welcome to the show, brother. How we doing?
Thank you, Melvin. I'm doing great. I'm super excited to be here on the Get Diversified podcast. And like I said, like you've mentioned, I know Melvin for many years now. I think 10 plus years now. Here we are, full cycle, man. I'm really excited at the things that you're doing, and I'm just honored that you invited me to be here.
Welcome, brother. We appreciate it. Like I said, Johnny mentioned, we first met through a mutual friend, right? Almost 10 plus years ago. And they say the world is small.
Dr.
They say the world is, the world is small. We come back full circle again. So, Johnny, thanks for being on the show, man. We appreciate it. And, man, tell the listeners, man, you're doing a lot in this space. Tell the learners the listeners a little bit about you, your background, where you're from. We know you're from Canada. So elaborate on that history and kind of what got you into multifamily real estate. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I can give you, that's quite a few questions. I'll give you a little background about myself. My name is Janatha Withanachchi. My Dr. Jonny Walker is my social media name. I'm an endodontist, was a full-time endodontist. I'm a part-time endodontist now. I've been an endodontist for over 12 years, 2009 I started practicing. I started as an active investor, real estate investor. 2008, I graduated. 2009, I bought my first property. Started with single family. Quick story. My father, my parents were from a poor immigrant family from Sri Lanka. My grandfather was completely illiterate. Couldn't even sign his own name. My father didn't wear shoes. I've been to the house. No running water. No running water. No running toilets. There's an outhouse in the back, no paved roads, very, very poor. And somehow my dad, he had an entrepreneurial spirit. He came to New York, then he found about the oil boom in Canada. He went to Canada, and my brother and I were born there, raised in Canada. I moved to New York, United States to do my dental training at Howard. I went to Howard University for my dental school, and then I went to New York University for my postdoctoral training. Mm-hmm. During my time, my father, we came poor immigrant family. We struggled. We did all the things that a lot of poor families do. Lived in affordable government subsidized housing, all those type of things. And my dad was a very ambitious guy, right? He came from a village with no shoes, and now here he is in North America. How he made it, I still can't figure it out.
Gotcha.
He made it. He started trying different businesses. He started a business, failed. Started an import-export business, failed. Started a hotel reservation company, failed. And he never gave up, though. So through my life, I saw this business side of our family, and I saw a lot of failures in my father, and I also saw some successes. But I learned a lot from him. And then while we were in dental school, he stumbled into real estate. Right, so we're in our 20s by now. And he stumbled in real estate, and he started making a modest amount of money investing. So he's like, you guys got to learn about real estate. So I read one of the books that he had, and it was called Creating Wealth by Robert Allen. I read that in my third year of dental school, and I was sprung by that, Melvin. I was like, at that point, I was like, dentistry is okay, but I'm going to make my wealth in real estate. Gotcha. And everybody I knew, I told that to. All my friends in dental school, I'm like, look, we're going to start investing, and this is the way to make money. Right? So I'm like, all right, real estate's it. 2008, I graduated. 2009, I bought my first house. I'm like, yes, I'm going to start buying real estate. I came to America. I didn't have any connections. I didn't know anybody. I didn't, had nobody to help me. I had no mentors. I was just brand new to making money, and I'm brand new in this country. And I had a heart full of ambition and courage. And I'm like, I'm going to go out. And I was excited. And so I went out, started buying single family house. I didn't have anybody tell me, hey, this is a good deal, this is a bad deal. There's none of that stuff. I just wanted to invest. And I bought this house. It ended up being a great investment. My sister-in-law at the time, she was doing her MBA program at Seton Hall University. She was looking for a place to rent, her and her friends. I said, hey, listen, why don't I buy the house and you and your friends rent it from me? Okay, great. Bought the house near the university. They rented it. Worked great. They matriculated through their MBA program. They moved out. New graduate students moved in. Okay. And, it was graduate students kept coming. I'm like, wow, this is great. Encourage me. Right? Go next one. Right. So next year, next year, 2010, I buy another house.
Okay.
And then I bought another one. And then I had about 3 residential properties. And I'm like, you know what? This isn't really going to take me to where I'm trying to get to. The cash flow is very small, for a few properties. And then, the management now is 1 property, now 2 properties, 3 properties. Okay, whatever. So I'm like, I got to look for something bigger. My dad says, hey, you should go get a parking lot, because parking lots, very little work. They manage themselves, and cash flow machine, this, that. So at that time, we didn't know what passive income. That passive income that's jargon that's very popular these days. 2008, 2009, 2010.
Lingo.
That wasn't there really, right? So at least I hadn't heard of it. Yeah. But I didn't know that I was looking for passive income at that time, right? So now I bought the parking lot. It was a triple net lease, which means that the tenant not only pays you rent, but they also pay the property insurance, they pay the taxes, and they maintain and manage the lot. Yeah. So the owner on a triple net lease has to do nothing except collect rent and collect the money, right? And they pay for all the expenses. Taxes go up, that means their tax expense goes up. Insurance for them goes up, that means their insurance expense goes up. Doesn't come out of my pocket. I need 100 of these, right? So now I'm making cash flow. I'm getting the checks. I'm paying the mortgage. Everything's paid for. And after all the expenses, I'm still putting a couple grand in my pocket. I'm like, this is it right here. I need 100 of these. I got 100 of these at $2,000. I got $200,000 a month of cash flow. And I'm like, I'm lit. It's it.
Can't beat it, right?
So I'm all right. So now the next trek is, okay, well, how do I go get another parking lot, right? So I need to go find another parking lot. Very difficult to find. I got lucky. I was driving the streets, looking, trying to find who it is. It was a very small parking lot, 106 spaces. I got it.
Okay.
And then my dad says, hey, you should look at strip malls, man. The strip malls are also great. No management headache. The tenants are professional tenants. They'll sign a 10-year lease. You don't even see them. They pay the rent, triple net leases too. If you get a good lease on a strip mall, they pay the taxes, they pay the insurance, they pay the maintenance, they pay everything. All you do is collect the rent. Like, I need more strip malls. So I bought a strip mall. I bought a small strip mall, 5,000 square feet. Not a huge one at all. A great one for me to learn from, and something that if something push comes to shove, my huge dental income can help to offset. So I'm like, this is something I can manage. This is risk wise. And if I push comes to shove, I can help out with my own money. And I'm like, all right, so this is a good one. So I buy this. Like that, I started buying more and more property. I got industrial land, warehouse, small apartment building. And by 2016, I had built a real estate, multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio, about 10 active owned properties.
Okay.
And I was a full-time endodontist working 45 hours a week. And now fast forward, like when I started 2008, 2009, I wasn't married, kids. Now married, children, working full-time, 10 properties that I'm managing. I'd reached the ceiling, right? Bandwidth. I had no more bandwidth to go do anything else. And on paper, I look wildly successful, right? I make a huge income. I make an outlier of income for an endodontist, right? I'm a very above average earner as a doctor for my profession.
Okay.
I have a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio, and I have a full-time family. Wow, and I have a beautiful family. Everybody from the outside looking in, like, this guy's made it. This is the guy. But I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that successful. And I'll tell you why. Because the push came to shove, my daughter's, this time she was in kindergarten, she had her first kindergarten recital.
Okay.
I was excited to be there for that. I'm not just a father that wants to be a great provider. I'm also a father that's very involved, and I want to witness the miracle of my children growing up. So I'm like, here, look, I need to be at this recital. So I scheduled to leave work early. I still ended up leaving late. Late patient came, the patient came late, best referring doctor. We have to treat this patient. We treat the patient. I'm like, all right, let's just still make it. Get to the George Washington Bridge. It's a parking lot, right? Oh, gotta weave through this traffic. I must have broke 3 or 4 traffic laws trying to get to the school on time, right? Uh-huh. I get to the school. I pull up to the school, park. I don't even remember if I closed the door. I sprint the 200 yards to the school to go in and see the recital. Walk in, find my wife. She's waving. I go sit down. I sit down. As soon as I sit down, everybody stands up, applause. So I stand up, looking over, like, what are they clapping for? And I see my daughter's class walking off the stage. The recital started at 7:30. I got there at 7:38. I thought I had made it on time. Mm-hmm. The small kids, they go first. Low attention span, this, that. They want to get them on and off the stage and get them out the door. So I missed the recital. Daughter comes up to me after, Daddy, did you see my recital? And I truthfully told her, no, I just missed it. I'm sorry. And the crestfallen look on her face. And I will never forget that. I still remember curly hair, red bow, red dress, black shoes, looked like the cutest thing you ever saw. And I still can remember her face that day and how crestfallen, disappointed she was. And that day I went home and I felt this deep sense of guilt, like almost shame. Like, if this is one of the most important people in my life and I'm missing a milestone event in her life. And so if I'm so successful, why do I feel like this? And why am I missing these important moments? So like I said, I went home, I even cried a little bit that night, and I realized that there's something fundamentally wrong with the strategy that I have, right? Okay. So, growing up in a poor family, especially coming from an Asian family, the main thing they push you to, hey, go be a doctor. If you become a doctor, you're made, you're set, you made it. Yeah. Like great money, you're an upstanding member of the community, this, that. And any poor immigrant family might push you to do something like that. But what they don't realize is that once you reach there, you become this doctor that makes money, is that, you make money. But now you don't have, I'm like, I have all this money, but I don't have the time. So when you peel the onion back a layer, you think when you're poor that the end goal is having money. But once you reach a certain level of success and you actually have some money, you realize, and you don't have the freedom that comes, then you're like, well, money's not really what I'm after. And you peel the onion back a little layer and you go a little deeper. So what do you want the money for? Well, I want the money so I can spend more time with my kids and spend more time with my wife and go on more vacation and do things that I'm passionate about, right? I want to work out. I want to spend time with my aging parents. I want to focus on real estate and teaching my fellow doctors about how to do it. These are the things I love to do, but I'm not getting to do, even if I'm successful. So the soul searching started after that day. And that's what led me to the discovery of passive investing, right? Passive investing, it was explosion, right? So I was looking for passive investing before, strip mall, parking lot, this and that, but I didn't know. I thought that you had to go and do everything yourself. All the books and everything at that time was how to go do everything yourself. how to go find the real estate, advertise for it, renovate it, manage it, get financing, everything, right? I was doing all of that. I've been through the school of hard knocks. And I realized that, no, that's when I realized passive investing, I can get everything I'm trying to get. I can build cash flow. I can build wealth. I can get the tax advantages. I can get true diversification out of the stock market casino. I can invest in tangible assets. I can invest in assets that are leveraged. All of these advantages of real estate investing, I can still get while investing passively, while extricating or removing myself from the day-to-day. And I'm like, this is a scalable strategy. This is a strategy that I can have unlimited properties. And then on top of that, if you really look at it, the execution, where is the risk higher? Where a guy like me that's working full-time family, that's doing everything themselves, buys a piece of real estate and executes a business plan on the property, or a full-time company that has done the same type of investment 30 times, right? They do it full-time. They have systems and operating and procedures in place to do it at a scalable level. They have full-time staff. Where is the execution risk higher? With me doing it or with a bunch of professionals doing it? So I actually lowered my risk profile on top of that by going passive investing. So now what did I do, Melvin? I had 10 years. I was a buy and hold, everything, all the books I read in real estate. I didn't sell anything. Real estate is one of the things that if you hold on to it, that's how you build wealth. So knowing that, I had 10 properties and I hadn't sold anything at this time. But now once I discovered passive investing, I went all in, and I started selling all of my real estate active and moving that capital into passive cash flows, cash flowing assets. The cash flow is what changed my life, right?
Say it again.
The cash flow is what changed my life, right? So now this is what's changed in my life, right? Now I went from working 45 to 50 hours a week to working, to me, an ideal schedule of 20 hours a week, right? So I work part-time and I don't want to stop because I'm a man of servitude. I like to serve, and serving my patients is one of the ways that brings me fulfillment. Right? So I don't want to quit dentistry, and I'm a very good endodontist, right? That's why I'm paid so well. I've done over 30,000 root canals. I've been doing this over a decade. I have very high level of skill and proficiency, and taking that away from the community I live in is not what I want to do. I want to continue working, but at a pace that I enjoy. Now, when I work in 20 hours a week, I enjoy the work even more. I don't feel feelings of burnout. I don't have my wrist problem anymore from overuse. I don't have stiff lower back from working too long hours. Right? And I go to work happy. I'm working 4 hours today. I got a 5-hour day today. This reflects on the patients. It reflects on the staff. Everybody's happier because of it, right? So now I'm working less. I used to never even see my children on weekdays, right? In the morning, I would be up and out the door before they're up. And by the time I got home at night, they were already in bed sleeping. Didn't even see them. Now I take them to school every morning, right? I work on my son's jump shot in the driveway. I take my daughter to her skating sets, and I've never missed another one of their events. Ever. Not one. Good. And I'm at every single basketball tournament, my daughter's at figure skating, her figure skating recital tournament, whatever it's called. I don't miss anything, right? So I'm at all the events. We travel 8 to 10 times a year.
Love vacations, don't you?
Last year we went to Greece, Spain, Mexico twice, went to the Bahamas twice, Miami, went all over the place, And I can tell you that dentistry is what gave me capital to invest. Mm-hmm. And then real estate helped make me wealthy. But what made me become free or have some more level of freedom, time to do what you want, where you want, when you want, with whom you want, comes from the cash flow, from income that you don't have to work for. And the more you focus on building cash flows, income that can help offset, replace your active income, your job. Because you look, most people, Robert Kiyosaki's, your balance sheet,
quadrant.
You got your assets, you got your income. Most people get taxed heavily on that income. Then they pay their expenses, and then whatever's left over is left over, right? Nobody focuses on, hey, look, let's just keep spending the money and we make more money, then we can buy a little bit bigger. That's what happens to all of us dentists. We can buy a little bit more expensive car. We can live in a more expensive home. We can take a more expensive vacation. We can afford a Starbucks Frappuccino. We can, upgrade. And all of a sudden you get this income creep, and all of a sudden you got these golden handcuffs, and you're stuck having to work to afford this lifestyle. That's the way that majority of us do it. That's why majority of dentists, doctors don't ever achieve financial freedom despite making a much higher income than the vast majority of the population. Is because you don't learn to build assets that cash flow. Now, if you focus on investing and putting everything that you have into low risk cash flow, forget the stock market, casino, they don't get no cash flows. You don't get any tax advantages. You have no leverage. Not any of those things. Stock market is not retail. It's not for the little guy. Instead, if you got an IRA, 401k, I had that BS too. I had a SEP. Yep. I had a SEP IRA. I had a 401k. And then I learned that, hey, you don't have to put your retirement money in a stock market casino. You can actually put it in real estate too. I moved everything into that too. And so I moved, and some people think I'm nuts because I have zero money in the stock market. But I am so anti-stock market. I'm so stock market averse for so many reasons that I went all in on passive investment. And that's the cash flow, Melvin, is what is life changing. Because imagine if you have a house and then you have income from your investments that covers your mortgage. Then you keep on investing, and now you have enough income that covers your car payment. And now you have enough income that covers your utilities. And I have enough student loan, this, that.
Do it again.
You keep doing it over and over. Eventually, you have no more expenses. Because it's all covered by your passive investment. That's the key to wealth. That's the key to freedom. You have to build cash flows. Build cash flow. If it doesn't cash flow, I'm not even interested anymore. It has to build passive income. Every financial decision I make from 2019 on was, does this A, give me income, and B, is it passive income? If I'm not building some type of passive income, then it's incongruent with my strategy, then I'm not interested. So that's kind of where I'm at with that,
Sticking to the plan. So cash flow. Passive investing has been the way to lead you to a financial future. Do you hear that, folks? Cash flow.
Yep.
Dr. Jonny has articulated that. Now, Dr. Jonny, question for you. So would you say that aha moment was when you missed your daughter's recital? That was the aha moment for you?
That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, I got to switch up. This strategy that I'm doing here is not working. It's not working. I had to switch. And that switch, sometimes, Melvin, like the best motivator is pain. Like when you're trying to get out of pain, you're trying to find a solution, and this, I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to do, I'm just telling you the truth that cash flow is what is the life changer. That's the game changer. That's what the wealthiest people in America do, right? And I'm not talking about doctors, lawyers, accountants, professionals. Majority of them don't get it right. Majority of them pay a lot of taxes. The wealthiest people in America have passive income, and that income is tax advantage or tax free. The wealthiest people in America do not pay taxes. 2016, Donald Trump paid $750 in income taxes. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos pay disproportionately low amounts of taxes to how much they make. Grant Cardone doesn't pay any taxes, And
he says it.
Wealthy people, he says it. Jay-Z says, thanks to my accountant, I'm practically living tax-free. Wealthy people don't pay taxes. The guys that pay the most taxes are the professionals.
Employees.
Are the guys that make a lot of money. The doctors, the dentists. We're taxed the heaviest. But if you want to do what if you want to be average and do what everybody else does, go into 401ks, go into SEP IRAs. But I guarantee this thing, Melvin, the wealthiest people do not have 401ks or SEP IRAs. They don't have that. Wealthy people just don't do that type of stuff.
They're getting diversified.
You go into self-directed IRA, go into something where you can put your money into real estate and stuff that'll cash flow. Even the cash flow is going to flow back into your retirement account so that you can redeploy it and won't make it earn some more for you. Get the profits back and compound it. You know, we're sold this BS story from the time we graduate, when we go to school, like all the players in the game, they want to push you into 401k plans and this dumb stuff and just put money into it. Close your eyes, forget about it. Don't touch it, because if you take it out, you'll be penalized. Even if you want to start a business or do something to expand yourself or get into an investment like a real estate investment, don't even think about it with this money, because this is for us, 401k manager, right? And we're going to collect our assets under management fees. We're going to collect our fixed expense ratio fees, even while it's going down, even for non-performance. Right now, the stock market is down 30, people's portfolios down 30, 40%. And these guys have the nerve to take their fees.
You're still going to get their fees. You're still going to get their fees.
What are you taking your fees for? For losing me money you want to charge me? Bro, it's not a fair game. It's a tilted game. Go learn about self-directed IRAs. You can put your money, you don't have to be in the stock. You can put some of it in the stock market, put some of it in real estate. Go buy some cryptocurrency if you want. I'm not advocating that, but you can. You can do other things with your retirement money that they don't tell you about. Get your IRA where you can use it for your benefit. You can flip land, flip houses, buy raw land, buy physical gold and silver. You know, those type of things. Go get diversified. I love this podcast name because this is what you should be doing. The stock market is a casino. It's not made for the little guy to make money.
The house always wins. You never win, right?
No,
never
you
win.
Can't. You know, the story that they sell you is, hey, you just put your money in the stock market, you wait long enough, it'll go up. And, you know, maybe that's true. Historically, you know, if you take out all the volatility, it's still kind of straight up. But is the market going to be cooperating when you're ready? You know, my aunt, we used to have fierce debates about real estate versus stock market, you know, to the point that it was almost contentious between the two of us. She would get very upset with me, you know, that I would tell her that she should invest in real estate instead of stock market. And at that time, NASDAQ is through the roof, right? And then the pandemic happened and you couldn't say anything to her, right? Because Zoom is up, Netflix is up, Google's up, you know, Tesla's up. Every single stock you can think of, especially in the NASDAQ, every stock period, but now the NASDAQ especially is through the roof. And she was heavily invested in that. Yep. Now she's 61 at that time. Now fast forward to 8 months ago. Now she's retirement age. Her portfolio is now 30% lower. So now it's okay. And on top of that, I got to live off of this money now. So the way with the stock market, it's accumulate and then deplete, accumulate and deplete, right? That's the theory. And hopefully you don't outlive your money. And hopefully the volatility doesn't come at the wrong time and you get hit like my aunt does. So now she's had a 30% loss on her portfolio. She can either wait for it to come back, which according to the stock market, and probably it will, but when? Right? We're headed for worsening times, or we're deepening recession. Interest rates will stay high. Those type of things don't bode well for stock market, especially not tech, because tech companies are based on future valuations. And when the future cost of dollars is high, with interest rates high, this creates everything to come tumbling down. So equities is not going anywhere for the next 10 years. I don't see it going anywhere. You know, I don't see any of the NFTs, you know, all the, you know, virtual art or Michael Jordan rookie card or all these things that was going up, you know, for up until 2020. Now all of a sudden, I don't know anymore. You know, cryptocurrency was the valuation of the market valuation of all cryptocurrency was $2 trillion. Now it's in the high hundreds of billions. It's not even half of cryptocurrency valuation was lost. Yeah. You know, stock market's lost. You know, housing market's about to come down. Where do we go? Flight to safety. Multifamily still will cash flow even during bad times. Will still hedge you against inflation. Inflation is rampant, right? So rents increase every 12 months. Oh, so the cost of the building goes up. Well, the cost of the human resource, the staffing has gone up. Cost of construction materials gone up. So it's cost us more to run the property. We're losing money. Oh, but guess what? Every 12 months we can adjust the rent. So rents have to go up because the cost of us running the building is going up. So we have to raise the rent to match it. And as a result, inflation makes real estate investors rich. Inflation kills everything else. So it's like, especially with multifamily where you have rents that can be adjusted every 12 months. I had a strip mall before. I signed a 10-year lease with a restaurant at 3% rent bumps, which is good until you have inflation that's 8%, 9%, 7%, 6%. You go 4 years of inflation at 9, 8, 7, 6, and you're only getting 3% rent bumps. You're getting killed. You're getting hammered by inflation, right? So here with multifamily, you can adjust every 12 months. So you can, and then recession resilience. I love multifamily for the recession resilience. We're in a mild recession, but that recession is potentially deepening, maybe even topple into depression, right? Inflation remains sticky. Feds have made the statement that we will bring inflation down even if there's pain. So that means if inflation remains sticky, interest rates will remain high and potentially go higher. This bodes for worsening times in our economy, right? So things are going to continue to go down. So we need to be in places that can perform even during bad times. So where are we going to get performance? Well, in affordable housing. Affordable housing, you're always going to get protection because affordable housing has a recession resilient component to it because people can't afford to live anywhere else. Would-be home buyers, 3%, they can afford their dream house, but now the interest rate is 7%, they can no longer afford their dream house. Would-be home buyers remain renters. Millennials are renters. America becomes more and more renters. It's a renter nation, becoming a renter nation. So all of these people need, especially affordable housing, need a place to live. And we have a huge shortage of affordable housing in America. So now you have a lot of people competing for a scarce resource. There's such a big disequilibrium between supply and demand.
What happens to price?
That it creates upward pressure on rents. And when rents go up, the value of multifamily goes up as a multiple of cap rate. So even during bad times, we can still get cash flow. We can still get cash flow in our pocket. We can still build our wealth because we can perform during the bad times. And when things turn around and things turn good again, we come out on top. So in recessions, a lot of people will lose money, but a few people will make a lot of money. And when you're in good asset classes that can perform in bad times, you put yourself in a very favorable position to come out to survive, not only survive, but thrive.
Get diversified.
Get diversified.
Multifamily real estate.
Get diversified. That's what it is. I couldn't say it more. The title of your podcast, it couldn't be more fitting,
Man, so you have clearly articulated, right, some of the ways, right, that you can weather the storm in rough economic times. It's rough economic times right now. Being in real estate, right, cash flow, the appreciation of the value of real estate, such a large gap of housing. Folks need places to stay, right? And Johnny, you are exemplifying getting diversified, maintaining cash flow, to maintain that net worth for yourself and your family. Yep. Fantastic. Let me ask you another question, man. So say, for instance, you're talking to a buddy, right? He's making $100,000 a year and he hasn't gotten diversified yet, but he's trying to figure out what to do. What advice would you give that young guy or gal? What advice would you give him? Well,
the first advice to back it all the way up is to build a personal budget. A budget where you learn to live off of a certain percentage of your income, right? Minimum, you should be trying to save 10 to 20%. At the very minimum, live off of learn to live off 80%. If you can learn to live off of 70%, 60%. I know some people, I heard of an NFL player who's living off of 30% of his income and investing 70% of his income. You know, if you are investing between 20 and 50% of your income, the more that you can invest from an early age. So reduce, live below your means at the beginning, right? And I'm not saying that I'm a guy that lives abundance. I live in a world of abundance, but at the beginning, don't, because you went from making nothing to making 100K doesn't mean you should go out all of a sudden start spending all of that money. You shouldn't go in. No, what you should do is try to live off of 80 cents for every dollar that you make. And that other 20 cents of every dollar, you're going to put into a savings account that is going to be used for investment, and only that. And you don't touch it for anything, any other reason except for an investment. So that would be number one, getting the budget, making sure that you're putting money towards paying your future self, right? So you have, and the more you can live, more proportion that you can put towards that, the faster you're going to reach your goals. That's number one. Number two, look for cash flowing investments, right? Suitable investments. Get with people that you trust, that are in the game, like Melvin, right? You get buddy. People like that. Yeah. So you get in there and you partner with somebody that knows that world, and then park your money into some great investments. And then you let it cash flow, let that income, let it bubble. And you go back to working, build it up, invest again, build a little more cash flow, work up, build. When they start small, right? It's little small trickles of streams of income. But if you keep doing it over and over, now the first investment that you make 5 years later, you're getting it back. You're getting back plus return, right? So now you reinvest that money. So now you're investing not only your initial capital, but you're investing your profits. Now, your profits are outgoing and working for you also. So now not just your original capital is making money, your other dollars are going and working hard for you too. They're always working. Make you money. So that's that's called compounding, right? So now compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it will earn it. Those that don't will pay it, right? That's from the great Albert Einstein. So if you keep investing, then you reinvest your profits and you keep earning your income. Keep investing. These little trickles of income, they start becoming streams of income. And those streams, they start to coalesce into tributaries. Multiple tributaries coalesce into a raging river that bubbles into the infinite ocean of abundance. Indeed. Right? Indeed. So that's, I don't want to be too, I don't want to think too metaphorically, but the thing is live below, and these are the fundamentals of becoming wealthy since the beginning of time. You read the book, George Klaus, I believe the author's name is The Richest Man in Babylon, which is an ancient society from back then. And the principles of the richest man of the richest society ever, these principles are still the same today as they were 1,000 years ago. Living below your means at the beginning, and putting as much as you can into wise investments with wise advisors that build you income, and continue to do that consistently year after year, the results will show for themselves. You got to, real estate it's a get rich slow scheme, but it's a get rich for sure scheme.
For sure. Absolutely.
And if you just do it, consistent, wise, prudent investment year after year after year, you are on a crash course with destiny for financial freedom.
Success. There you go. You heard it from the guy himself, Dr. Jonny Walker. Success, success, success. Cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. Take action. Take action if you can.
That's the other thing. Mindset, action. I mean, there's a lot of things I didn't get to them, and you mentioned it right there. It's a lot of times you know what you're supposed to do. You have the money to know what you're supposed to do, but you still can't get that. Something's still holding you from doing that investment. Yeah. And, that comes down to mindset, getting the right mindset. And mindset is huge for an investor. It's very important to have the right mindset. Otherwise, even if you have the knowledge, but you don't have the mindset, you can't do it. So getting that proper mindset, and that comes from education, getting education in yourself about passive investing. The information's out there. If you somebody said, if you spend 6 months immersing yourself in any topic, you can become an expert. Because this day and age, you got audiobooks, you got webinars, you got Instagram, gurus, you got courses, you got mastermind groups. I mean, you name it. There's the information is at your fingertips. It's just up to you. It's up to you to go and get it. So that arm yourself with that knowledge of just the basics of at least learning what passive investing is. It'll make a big, if you want to find out the things that are going to give you the most impact in your life, these nuggets right here are impactful beyond money. I kind of alluded it to, hey, look, I'm very happy at work and all that stuff. Having the financial freedom transcends to other parts of your life besides your bank account. You spending time with your children, your relational success, right? So you get relational wealth with your relationships with your loved ones, with your family, friends, the people that you work with every day, those relationships, your spirituality, your mental health, your physical health, your philanthropic successes, wealth.
Giving back.
These are all different types of wealth. And having financial freedom actually helps you to give you time and the resources to help you achieve abundance in all of those areas of your life. And that's to me, that's true success. Like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, the top richest guys in the world, they're all divorced, right? They're all extremes of success. And you have to some extent, to reach that level of success, you need to have, you're giving up something somewhere else, and for those people, and I've read biographies on a lot of these people, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, I learned a lot about their life stories. Elon Musk, especially, they don't have great relationships with their children. They're all divorced. They're estranged. They're very much deep into what they do, and they're successful in what the stuff that they focused on. And I'm not trying to knock those people, because we need Elon Musk in this world. We need Bill Gates in this world. But from my perspective, I don't envy those people. I don't envy the CEO that makes $20 million a year, a $20 million bonus, but he spent 32 weeks on the road. He spent little time with the children. Maybe he had a 2-week vacation. And most of the time it's spent on the road, spending very little time, right, at home. I don't think that, in my definition of success, those people are only partly successful, because money is only one part of the equation. Yeah. To me, it's how close to a level 10 do you get in all the other aspects besides finance? And that is a mark of success to me. Right? Somebody who has a love of his children, who has a love of a family, has a respect of his community, who has ability to do what he wants, where he wants, that person is much more successful to me, that have children that love him. When on your deathbed, it's not the money that's going to be there with you, right? It's going to be the people that are, that hopefully they care about. There's people that care about you at the end of the day, and for those, that is what a definition of success is to me. So it was a very narrow measure of success previously for me, because I didn't have any money, until I started having money, and I realized that money is not the only thing. And that's when I realized that there's other things in life to become successful, and that's what it's about, really.
So for you, as appreciation, your time with your daughter, right? You missed that recital. You decide you're not going to do that anymore. You're not going to miss the time with your kids, your family. And I can tell family means everything to you, right? That's the appreciation for a successful life. So you articulated that perfectly, Dr. Johnny. We appreciate it. Man, I want to ask you two more questions, man.
Yes, sir.
2 more questions. This year, right? You're rolling, you're growing your business, right? You've diversified, and now got a lot of your time back, right? You're doing the things that you want to do. We see you out on social media, and you're having a great time. You're enjoying those memories with your family. What are some goals for you from a real estate standpoint this year?
Sure. So, we've I've started a real estate firm, capital firm called Walk of Wealth. We've added some team members to help me focus on my unique strength, or what are my strengths, right? So I feel like the more time I can function in where I'm strong at and have others help me in the other areas, that's helped me, like you said, you see me on social media and all these things. So it's also helped us on the business side, which is real estate investing. Our goals for this year is to do a lot. We did close to probably about $50 million worth of real estate last year. Our goal this year is to double that. So we want to do $100 million worth of multifamily real estate, and we want to help dozens more investors get on the journey. Our mission is to help 1,000 people become financially free.
It's free.
That's my career mission. And so every step that I make is towards that. It's helping investors get there. So that's our goal, is to buy a bunch of real estate and help a bunch of people continue their journey towards financial freedom.
Cool. I appreciate that, brother. And one last question, man. How can people find you? How can people reach you? You want to share some information on your website, man? And
sure. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so sure, Melvin. Thank you.
Sure, folks know about you, brother.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that very much. Yeah. I mean, I'm very easy to find. It's Walk of Wealth, WALK, walkofwealth.com is our website. We got tons of resources. There's a due diligence guide, sponsored due diligence guide on passive investing, some free resources, video blogs, all really around the educational side for passive investors to become knowledgeable investors. That makes them more wise and prudent in their decisions. You can find us on Walk of Wealth. You can book a call with us if you want to learn more about investing alongside us. We also have a YouTube channel called also Walk of Wealth. Excellent resource for learning. And most recently, very excited about, is that we have a Facebook group. Melvin, you're in our group as well.
Yep.
And I would definitely, we have content that is exclusive for that group, including a 15-hour video series about how to get involved in everything you need to know about passive investing. And that's available only in the Facebook group. And you can find that just by searching. That's called Financial Freedom for Dentists. Although it is curated for dentists, really any professional that is exchanging time for money, we're trying to help you do the opposite.
Yeah. There you go. I'm not a dentist. I'm in that Facebook group. I plug in a lot of Johnny's live chats and I participate. And you know what? When they say proximity is power, that is true. That is absolutely true.
Yep.
You know what? Education is the great equalizer. My procurement supply chain is coming out in me. Continuous improvement. Love listening to your videos. You can never not get enough education. And now, in this technological age that we live in, there's no excuses. Absolutely no excuses. Maybe when we were in grade school, Johnny, internet wasn't there for us.
No internet, man.
We had no internet, so we didn't know what we didn't know.
Yeah.
But now we've made the decision. We're passive investors. We're in the multifamily real estate, and we're taking control of our future.
Yep.
Hands down. So, Dr. Johnny, I want to thank you, brother, for taking the time out your busy day to come and speak to the audience. You're a true epitome of getting diversified. You've told a story of individuals. If you don't know, get diversified. You got any questions, you could always reach out to myself. Johnny has told you how to reach out to him as well. And let's keep this journey going. Let's keep sharing the message. Keep helping others get educated. And, man, let's keep for gaining financial freedom. But at the end of the day, getting our time back and enjoying the memories of the folks that we love at the end of the day. That's number one. On behalf of myself, Dr. Jonny Walker, we thank you very much. And once again, folks, get diversified.